Hey everyone, I'm Dave with Beastmade Reviews, the channel where we like to talk about quality at different price points. This is my second video about disc golf, and today we're going to be talking about what's in my bag and why I chose it, and kind of go more into detail there. We're also going to be talking about my son's bag and the discs that he chose and why he chose them. It's taken me a while to kind of understand some of these discs. I'm not a professional by any means, so I can't give you a professional breakdown of all these discs, but I've got a lot of time with most of these. And two of the companies here, Dynamic Discs and Discmania, they sent us a couple for review. I'll talk about the ones that they sent us. Discmania sent me two mid-range, which I'll have here, and then two putters. And Dynamic Disc sent us four as well, which is kind of a beginner set, which is a putter, mid-range, fairway driver, and then a driver. But in the course of time, I actually love these so much that I bought more. And as you can see, I have a ton more, and this is just some of them. I have some more in a box at home that I can't fit. So both of these companies are fantastic, and I'll have links down below to their sites as well as some affiliate links to these discs down below. All right, so let's start with my putters real quick, and a lot of these discs will come in and out. So I will change them just to see how I'm feeling about certain discs and try something out and see if I like the other thing better. When I first started, I started off with two that Discmania sent me. That was the Sky God 2, which I really love, and then this C-Line P2 that I really like as well. I really like the C-Line plastic. As far as like a base plastic, I find that this is really durable. It feels great. The S-Line plastic, I think the feel is even better. It has a little bit softer feel to it, but it's still really grippy. This is the Sky God P2 putter in S-Line, and it is amazing. Just an amazing artwork on there, fantastic. But the one that is really in my bag right now that I've just fallen in love with is this P3X, which is a beaded putter, which you can see the bead on the side here. And I found that I just really like a beaded putter. When I was playing with the P2 before, I liked it a lot. But my son has a beaded putter from Dynamic Discs, and I found that I really liked the feel of that bead on there. You can just put your finger here and then throw it, just locks in your grip. I really like that, and you have a little bit more control, for me anyway. I like the flight of the P3X as well. I think it has a good bit of glide to it, and it is a little bit different than the P2, which is what I really like. But like I mentioned before, the P2 is fantastic. I really like this S-Line a lot. This was my go-to putter for a long time. I like the C-Line plastic a lot as well. And then I also have a P2 here. This is actually my son's, but I have a purple one as well. And I find that I like this stiff one as well. The only thing about this is I just wish that it had a bead. That's the only thing. If this had a bead, I think that would probably switch everything over to a beaded P2. I think that would be amazing. There's some other plastics that the P2 comes in as well, and they have a couple of other putters that I don't currently have. Here's a Sensei model from them as well, and this is their active plastics. I like this one a lot. I think it's a great thrower, and I really, really enjoy this. I have one at my house. I'm gonna be kind of testing this one out and see what I feel about this. The only thing about this one though is it doesn't have a bead. I just wish it had a bead. So I really want to try some more from them. I know the Evolution line from Discmania has a bead as well as similar characteristics of flight as the Sensei, so I'm gonna be testing that one out. The Link is the one I'm thinking about. Hopefully I can get one of those sometime soon and try that one out. I think I might really enjoy that one a lot. But for now, what's in my bag is a Sky God 2, just for longer throws if I need it, for approach shots, and then a P3X. So that's one that I've really been liking so far with my putters. For mid-range, I have three mid-range, but I usually only carry two, and I don't use them a whole lot. It's kind of just situational with me. But for mid-range, I have an MD5, which has a couple of different stamps on there. I got this in the mystery box set, which I love the mystery box set. We got a lot of great discs in there, and some that I just really fell in love with. This is one of them, the MD5. It's an overstable mid-range disc. I like this one because it has a lot more fade at the end, and there's a little bit of a bead on there, so if I need kind of longer approach shots, I think this really works. And this is one that I almost got an ace with, so I'm sticking with this one for a little while, but I like that one a lot. And for more of a neutral throwing mid-range, I like this MD3 a lot. This one has a very neutral throw and just a little bit of fade at the very end, so I use this one probably more as a mid-range than the other ones. And I also have an MD4, which is one of the ones that they sent me here, and this one has kind of a mixture of flight characteristics between the two, so it's not something I use a whole lot. And this one is pretty heavy, 180 grams I think is on the heavier side for these discs. And even though I don't use mid-range discs a whole lot, I'll keep both of these in there, and maybe I might use them. All right, now let's go to fairway drivers. And fairway drivers are kind of my bread and butter for off the tee and for fairway shots. I use them more than mid-range, and I use them a lot more than regular drivers, mostly because my arm speed isn't quite there yet for the full flight of the harder drivers. But here are some that I really, really love, and these are always in my bag. The first one is a CD2. This one is their S-Line plastic. I really love their CD2. It's just a laser-like straight disc, and I use this almost all the time. This is just my go-to disc off the tee, and it's wonderful. It has a speed of 9, so it's not too fast, and it's really great. It has a little bit of fade at the very end, but it is so straight. Really, really like that a lot. Next is their turning driver, and this one is more situational. This one has an understable flight, so it turns a little bit more in the opposite direction of your throw. This one is a little bit harder to control most of the time, so it's just situational when I want to have something that turns a little bit. This is in their D-line plastic, which is very durable, kind of a little bit softer than the P-line, but harder than the C-line, it feels like, so I like that a lot. It's more difficult to throw sidearm. If you throw it sidearm, it might get out of control and then roll in place you don't really want to. So I find that I have to throw this backhand more. And then it will actually roll easily. So it's one that I can kind of turn into a roller pretty well. So I like that one for certain situations. I don't use it a whole lot, so I keep it in my bag just in case. Next is the Evolution Instinct, which is a fairway driver, and this is amazing. This is part of their Evolution line with the Neo plastic, and this is one we got in the mystery box as well, and I found that I just really, really love this. What I like about this is in a different plastic, so this is kind of in between C-line and S-line plastic. It has that kind of thing. It has a little bit of dome on there, which I really like, but what I like about this, it doesn't quite fly as far as like the CD2, and it doesn't quite fly as straight. So it has a tendency to turn and then fade a lot more. So it gives me kind of an option there. But it also has a little bit of skip at the very end. So if it falls on the ground, it will skip and hop a little bit. So I use this quite a bit. If I need to get around something, or if the fairway turns a little bit on a dog leg, the Instinct is one that I go to a lot more. Next is my FD, and this is in the swirly S line with the Huck Lab stamp on there. Another one we got from the mystery disc. Really, really love the way this looks. I don't use this as much. It flies similar to the Evolution Instinct, but this seems to be a little bit straighter. So this is something that I might use instead of a CD2 if I don't want to go quite as far as a CD2 will go. I don't use this as much as the Instinct or the CD2, so it's a little bit situational, but I really like this a lot. But this one is really good to have when I do need it, so this is always in the bag. The next two are my drivers here, and this is a power driver PD2 and a DDX distance driver. Both of these are in C-line. I love the colors of these. I mean, you will not lose these at all. And I mentioned these together just because I don't use these quite as much. These definitely have a higher speed to them, so they're a little bit harder for me to control just yet. But this DDX is very similar to the CD2, except with a higher speed. So it has a pretty neutral flight to it with just a little bit more distance on there if you can get your arm speed up to it. I'm still going for it sometimes. So sometimes I might use this instead of the CD2 for just bombs, especially there's one hole out here on this course here at the Admiral where it's just a bomb. You can just throw it out there in an open field. And so this is one that I will go to for that. And the PD2 just has a little bit more of a stable flight to it, whereas the DDX has a little bit more neutral, maybe a little understable flight to it. This one has just more of an overstable, typical style drive with the same arm speed on there. This is one I probably use the least, honestly, but I keep it in my bag just in case I need it. And of course, I'm getting better and better all the time, and I'm gonna try different shots just because I can. But this is one that I want to keep in my bag just to try to go for those long distance driver shots. So that's what's in my bag. My bag here is this Nutsack Satchel Pro, which is not a disc golf bag by any means, but I had it lying around. I really like Nutsack. I think they make an amazing briefcase, especially great value for the money. This one is wax canvas with a leather bottom right here, and I find that it really works well for disc golf. It just opens up and it holds a lot of discs on the inside, so I really like this one a lot. It keeps the rain out, And so this one just really works for me. And if I need it as a briefcase, which is what it's designed to do, it works even better for a briefcase. One of these days I'll upgrade to a better disc bag, but for now I'm going with the Satchel Pro. So those are my discs. Like I said, I really love Discmania, so I've been primarily throwing all Discmania, and I cannot be more pleased. Really, really love them a lot. All right, so now let's go to my son's bag, and I'll go over some of the discs that he has right here. And his bag is just this Nutsack disc golf bag right here. And this is one of the first bags that Nutsack made. And this is an amazing little disc golf bag. It holds about 8 discs, I think, and we cram it full. We cram it to the brim. It's pretty thick. I mean, it has a lot of discs in there when it's all full here. And as you can see, my son is not polite with this one. He's dragged it on the ground and it's held up really well. This has a lifetime warranty, made in the USA, made with very durable canvas on the outside, and it's just been a great bag. The one thing I will say about this is it's not waterproof, which is something you could do. You could actually wax this, which is something I think my son and I are gonna try to do. We're gonna try to wax this and get a little bit more water repellent properties out of it. So my son is throwing primarily 3 different putters. He does the P2 putter here from Discmania. He does the Sensei by Discmania, and then he does the Judge by Dynamic Discs. And I'm not exactly sure what his rationale is in choosing between the P2 and the Judge. I'm not exactly sure, but what I've noticed is he picks one of these for short shots, and then he'll pick the Sensei for approach shots as kind of a thrower. And I think that's a great way to use these. The Sensei has a lot more glide to it, and it's a little higher speed. It has no turn and almost no fade, just a 1 on the fade. So this is a great thrower, and it feels really great. The Sensei is an active line of plastics from them, and it's kind of, I think, meant to be kind of more for the beginner and is priced accordingly, but I find that I really like these plastics a lot. I'm gonna definitely check out more from this active line. So yeah, these are awesome. And I've talked about the P2, of course. The P2 is a fantastic line of putters. It's just a great go-to for putters. The P line is fantastic. It's very stiff. They also make this in different plastics, of course. Like I said, they have a soft P line, which is good if you want softer ones, and they have all the plastics they make with the P line. Really, really great. A lot of professionals will choose this P line and the stiff P line, and then they'll have a slew of different plastics to choose from just for different flights and feels. So really great. And then the Judge, I think, is one of my favorite putters that I haven't gotten a whole lot of time with, but every time I pick it up from my son, I'm like, wow, that is a great putter. And another one that just really flies well, has a bead on the side there. I really love this classic plastic. It has a burst pattern on there, as you can see. Really, really beautiful burst pattern there. Really, really pretty. It just seems to hit the basket all the time. Really great disc. My son seems to like a Dynamic Disc a lot more, and I can't blame him. It's a great company, and it's one that he has just really grown fond of. But he's no respecter of companies. He has a couple of different makers here. Another one that we haven't talked about is Discraft. This is the Crank, which I haven't gotten a whole lot of time with. And this is one that we actually found in the woods here, and we actually called the person who lost it, and they just didn't want it. So it's just one that we kept. It's a softer plastic, which is really nice, and it looks like it's a distance driver, maybe a fairway type of driver. Really good one. He uses this one a lot too, so he likes that one. He also uses this FD from Discmania, and this is in their P line, a kind of a softer P line. And as you can see, this is a double or triple stamp with the moon lander on there, which is really, really cool. I like that a lot. He loves this disc. I can't blame him. It's beautiful. We got this from a mystery disc set from Discmania. It's wonderful. And the FD is just a great fairway driver. Like I mentioned before, I have an FD, an S line, and I love it. And he uses this one a lot. It's one of his favorites. All right, and now let's get to his Dynamic discs that he likes a lot. The first is the Truth, which is a mid-range driver. And this one is in their Fusion plastic, which is has a nice softer feel to it. Kind of reminds me of kind of the S-line plastic from Discmania, but the Fusion bioplastic is wonderful. Really like that a lot. A very neutral flying disc, really great mid-range driver. All right, next is the Escape fairway driver, and this is another one that's really great. It's a very stable, I would say neutral fairway driver, and it flies similar to maybe my CD2, but man, you can just crank this thing and just throw it really hard. A great flyer. This is in their Fusion burst plastic, which again is gorgeous. You can see that burst pattern on there, which I think is just beautiful. Great, great fairway driver. Really, really like this. I've thrown this a few times. I've borrowed this from my son, and I've been really pleasantly surprised at how this throws. It's a wonderful fairway driver. I like this one a lot. And last but certainly not least is the Raider right here, and this is in their Fusion plastic. And as you can see, this is a pizza disc. Now this is not a normal pattern that Dynamic Disc sells. They sell the Raider in a lot of different plastics, and it's a great, great distance driver. Really great. This Fusion plastic, like I said, is just a really soft, just a great feeling plastic. I like this a lot. But this pizza pattern, we actually special ordered from their website. They have this feature on their website where you can upload a picture and you can put it on the disc. And depending on what kind of picture you put on the disc will turn out better than others. But we chose this pizza one because my son and I are kind of known as Team Pizza. My wife, for Father's Day, bought me and my son these two different shirts, which I'll show in pictures here of some pizza. And we've been just Team Pizza ever since. And we actually got a Raider from Dynamic Disc to review. And my son accidentally threw it in the water and we lost it forever. And he was really upset about that because it was one of his favorite discs. For Christmas, just recently, I ordered one from Dynamic Discs with a pizza on there, and this has become his all-time favorite disc, and it just looks beautiful. I was unsure how it was going to look. I knew it was going to look pretty good from some of the other discs that they have on their website with this feature on there, but it looks fantastic. I mean, just look at this. It looks a lot better than I thought it was going to be. It looks impeccable. I could not be more happy with how this turned out. It is just incredible. The Raider disc is a great disc, but just this whole story behind the pizza disc, I think, is fantastic. So those are all the discs in our bags. We love disc golf. We're gonna be doing more and more of it. Of course, I have my small group at my church where my friends and I go out and play. I'm gonna be playing more with my son, of course. I'm gonna be doing some more disc reviews in the future probably, and definitely getting some more discs in the future to try out. So yeah, more to come. And if you're interested in any of these discs, I'll have links down below on Amazon, affiliate links to these where you can go and find them, and I'll have links down below to Dynamic Discs and Discmania's website as well. So what are some favorite discs of yours? I'd love to hear your thoughts. What are some of the discs that are in your bag? And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe down below. I love you for it. And click that little bell so you get a notification every time I make an upload. Thanks again for watching. I'm Dave with Beastmade Reviews. Bye.